Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the Midweek War! I, of course, am Mad Mike, and I did not watch Ring of Honor this week. It's not my fault. There was a disturbance in Gotham, and I had to be called upon to intervene in a battle of superheroes between some guy named Clark and some guy named Bruce. But with me, a guy who did watch Ring of Honor and is going to tell me all about it, the voice of Inspire Pro Wrestling, Eamon Payton. How are you, sir?
I'm good, because this is actually a good episode of Ring of Honor this week. The one episode Mad Mike misses.
Fuck. You know, I blame Gotham. I blame Gotham. I blame Lex Luthor. I blame Doomsday. I blame Zack Snyder. I blame DC Comics.
I was going to say, if you read the internet, you made a good choice, apparently.
Yeah.
And by that, you completely did not.
Yeah. Stay tuned to the Midweek War when we talk about Impact, because I'm going to rate which show I thought was worse, Impact or Batman vs Superman. Still haven't decided yet. All right, so Eamon, what is your word for Ring of Honor this week?
Matches, but usually when we say that in a negative way. But there's good matches on this show. There's really fun stuff.
Awesome. Alrighty. So instead of doing good bad change, break down the show for me, Eamon.
Let's
break it down. Let's get into it. Let's deep dive. Tell me what happened.
So there's some good stuff on this show. I'll say first offhand that there's a very good mix of stuff on this show, of the in-ring action, but also there's some good promo stuff and there's some good storyline-driven stuff. Obviously, this is the first taping after the pay-per-view, so we're getting back into some of the storyline stuff, which is good, which we like. We started with a TV title defense. Tomohiro Ishii defending against originally scheduled to be BJ Whitmer. BJ Whitmer comes out. They're preparing to have the match when Veda Scott interrupts.
Yay!
We love Veda Scott along with Cedric Alexander, who gives BJ Whitmer an envelope of money, saying it's Vegas. You could spend all the money you want, and even keep some for later. And if you forfeit your TV title shot to Cedric Alexander, which BJ Whitmer obliges. And which I'm actually very happy with, because I was going to say,
this automatically sounds like it would be my good.
Yeah, because I like Cedric Alexander. Not the biggest fan of BJ Whitmer. So I was very happy with this. And I feel like we haven't seen Cedric in forever, really. So this is really kind of cool. And this was a really fucking good match. Extremely hard-hitting. I miss seeing Cedric wrestle because he's so good. Ishii's stiff as fuck, and I think is amazing. And I feel like, I don't know if it was just how they mic'd things or how the building was or whatever, but like you could really get a sense of like the stiffness in this match. Like it was you really got a sense of Ishii's style, which I think is good. I'm not always a fan of how Ring of Honor mics their shows, because sometimes to me it's off and kind of takes you out of the experience sometimes. But I thought this was perfect.
It was the same place where they had the pay-per-view, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So, I noticed that at the pay-per-view too.
Which is a little smaller of a venue, but actually I thought it looked really well. Like it looked kind of cool. But yeah, this was a really fun match. Very hard hitting, as I said. Ishii retained. Mm-hmm. Very, very good stuff. And Ishii being the fucking no care in the world badass he is, like mouthing off to the commentators afterwards, saying that nobody could beat him.
Finally someone talks bad to Mr. Wrestling.
It was more to Kevin Kelly, but hey. I think it was just because he was closer.
Gotcha.
But no, it was perfect, and I'm so glad they're going to do more. I'm glad the Ishii thing wasn't a one-off thing, that They just kind of gave a belt on him to do it. Like, I like that they're going to have him defend it more, which is cool.
As often as he can.
As often as he can. But hey, Ring of Honor and New Japan are doing more stuff, so we'll get some defenses in New Japan, hopefully. So, you never know. So then I believe we go backstage to a promo from Jay Lethal.
Okay.
We've got a pretty good promo about his title defense next week against Hiroki Goto. saying he's going to make. There's one part where he makes the line about how he's going to make Goto go to the hospital. It sounds terrible as I say it, but Lethal made it sound good.
No, and I have every confidence that he would make that sound good, but it just sounds really bad in context.
When you don't set it up properly, it sounds bad. But no, it was a really good promo, and I'm excited for the match next week. It seems like a really big matchup, so very cool to see. And I believe from there we got an in-ring promo with The Addiction, talking about what happened at the pay-per-view, about the stuff with the Motor City Machine Guns. And it was good. I don't know if it was, to me, and obviously you'll have to listen back to it eventually, but to me this wasn't The Addiction's best promo. This was kind of off to me a bit at parts. Just, they were kind of stepping over their words sometimes and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It was very weird to me. But hey.
I mean, it's going to end up in The Addiction versus the Guns, so
right.
It's going to be good regardless.
Yeah, I think obviously this is going to lead to some good stuff, but you know, I'm interested to see. It was kind of your basic, oh, you're a traitor promo, and then Saban kind of came out with Shelly and was like, oh, you guys are assholes, sort of thing. I do like the what they're going. Daniels and Kazarian are going by Generation Killers, which I kind of like. Since they kind of are a veteran of a team, which I think is interesting. But yeah, overall it was a good promo. The Guns chased them off, so it was good. Then we had another tag team match, or excuse me, not another one, but we had a first of two tag matches of the Briscoes against Reno Scum, who I believe have been on past episodes of Ring of Honor as like kind of a brought in sort of team.
Okay.
Obviously they're from Nevada, so appropriate to have them, I guess, in Vegas. This was a good match because it wasn't just jobber squash. Like Reno Scum got in a lot of offense, and they have a cool kind of like punk kind of look to them, which was really cool.
Yeah, because I'm not familiar with Reno Scum, so
I couldn't even remember their individual names, to be honest. I'd have to look back on it. But I mean, they were impressive. Like I thought they could fit in as like a lower level team in Ring of Honor. Yeah, Briscoes won. Still very good match. I feel like they're hinting to Briscoe's War Machine going forward. They were playing up the fact a lot that War Machine, even though they're the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, feel that they can only consider themselves the best tag team if they beat the Briscoes, which I think is a cool story to tell. Yeah, I would love to see that match between the two of them, and hopefully if that's what they're building to going forward. So good stuff there. I believe after that, we got our backstage promo with Dalton Castle to hype the fight without honor that will be happening between him and Silas Young. It was good. I feel like this is definitely leading to the conclusion of whatever they're going for with this whole thing.
I hope so. Because Jesus Christ.
We've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was a good promo. The backstage promos, they were kind of short this episode, but at least they had promos to kind of break up stuff, which is always nice. I really appreciate that.
And that's something they rarely do in Ring of Honor, so I'm looking forward to seeing this episode.
Yeah, I honestly would encourage you to watch this back, because this probably was like the most solid like episode of Ring of Honor so far. And then we had the main event, which was a tag team match of the Young Bucks against Michael Elgin and Hiroshi Tanahashi. I really liked this match. They played up they had a good storyline in the match of the Bucks being the ones that cost Tanahashi the IWGP Intercontinental title match with Omega in Japan. So there was tensions there, and Tanahashi did a good job of playing up to those tensions throughout the match. This was the first time the crowd's going to cheer for the Bucks no matter what, obviously, but they did a good job of making the Bucks the heels in this scenario, which I thought was a good move. There was some really great wrestling in this. Not to spoil it, but there's an amazing spot towards the end where the Bucks go for the Meltzer driver, which is they go for the Meltzer driver on Tanahashi, which is a tombstone pile driver if you haven't seen it, where Nick Jackson springboards and then does like a 450 almost into the pile driver. But as he was flipping over, Elgin catches him into a power bomb.
Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds fun.
It's pretty impressive, and it's very well executed. So,
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely have to watch that because that sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's very good. Elgin's I think has really come into his own. I feel when it comes to like the stuff with his strength and stuff like that. I love both him and Tanahashi doing the suckets to the Young Bucks throughout the match. There was a lot of super kick party yelling from Mr. Wrestling.
Naturally, I'll just watch it on mute. That's fine.
It happens. But yeah, other than that, I really enjoyed this match. Elgin and Tanahashi win. I liked it. I thought it was really fun. It was a good way to close the show. There was a lot of. It made for a really solid hour of wrestling on the show because I think sometimes with Ring of Honor you get a lot of matches and a couple of them will be good, but then you'll have like one or two that are kind of like okay. You know, they're not. You know, this was all three matches I think on the show delivered, and they broke everything up really well with promo stuff. So, overall, I really liked this episode.
Alrighty, where would you rank it this week out of the 4 shows?
Going to what I said on the NXT show, this is actually my number 2 this week.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I was happily surprised with Ring of Honor this week. I really enjoyed the episode. The wrestling on it was, like I said, really great and really kind of captivated me. Some of the wrestling captivated me as much as Aztec Warfare did.
Wow. Okay, that's high praise. All right.
Yeah. As far as the in-ring wrestling goes,
right? Yeah, of course.
I thought it was really on par this week.
Okay. Alrighty. So Eamon, where can the good people of the internet find you?
Find me on Twitter at Eamon2 please to go check out all my thoughts on wrestling and other things. You can also go check out Inspire Pro Wrestling, the company I work for, over at InspireProWrestling.com and on Twitter at InspireProRes.
All right, and you can find me at Mad Mike 4883, where I will be back next week and I will have watched Ring of Honor. Also, if you've been following along at live.wrestlingmayhemshow.com every Tuesday night, round about 9 o'clock, we have been doing this thing called Mayhem Mania. It is now concluded, but the pre-show for Mayhem Mania is in your hands, fans. Go to our Facebook group. Just type in Wrestling Mayhem Show on Facebook and vote for the pre-show match. I'd personally suggest voting for a Divas title match because hashtag Divas Revolution, but that's just me. You can feel free to vote for whatever you want for, except for Donald Trump. He's not on there, but don't vote anyway.
Just don't vote for him in general.
Yeah, just in general. But yeah, so for Eamon Payton, I'm Mad Mike, and this has been your Midweek War.